Malachi means my messenger. And he is the last prophet of the Hebrew Bible. He prophesies two major things, two problems that the Jews have. Number one, they're offering blemished animals as sacrifices. Instead of bringing their best to God, this is kind of a returning refrain in the prophets, that people just don't give their best to God. And the prophet Malachi wants them to give their best to God. Don't give them any more blemished sacrifices. Bring the best you have. Take your prize bull and offer him. And when you do, you bring that bull in just inside the gate of the temple. You place your hands on that animal, and then the priest gives you the sacrificial dagger, and you plunge it into the throat of that animal and open up its jugular vein, and the blood gushes out every time the heart beats. And the animal cries out and collapses on his knees and then falls over dead. And that tells you how bad your sin is. Malachi says, give your best gifts to God. The second thing, the second prediction of Malachi is that the people are divorcing too much. They divorce over everything. They divorce if their wife burns the toast, they divorce their wives. They give a writ of divorce and send them away. And he says, you got to stop this. You need to be faithful to the wife of your youth, just as God has been faithful to you. And in chapter 3 of Malachi, in verse 1, he says, I will send my messenger who will prepare the way before me. Then suddenly the Lord you are seeking will come to his temple. So the messenger, Elijah, must come first before the great and terrible day of the Lord. Malachi says. Elijah must come first. If you look at the end of Malachi, the last verse in Malachi, the last word is the Hebrew word chedes, which means destruction or a ban of destruction. And the Jews hate the fact that the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible, ends with the word destruction. So they take the earlier verse that says, Elijah must come first, and put it in small print under that last verse so that the Old Testament doesn't end with a negative word. But folks, the Old Testament by itself is called the Old Testament because it's old. There's a new one coming, and it's going to change everything.